Hey, good morning, everybody. I can't say it's Maker Monday, it's Tuesday, and so if you're like me, you need an extra cup of coffee this morning. It's like dragging in. What do holidays do to us? It's like we have an extra day to rest, and then we're more tired on Tuesday. So this is Tuesday, but this is our regular Maker Monday. It's just a time that I like to take and put aside to be able to show you what we're doing at our test kitchen and all the different ways to be able to use a Maker Studio product. So, but more than that, one thing that we love doing is the fact that we like solving problems. And you know, we have a problem in our homes. We have a lot of empty walls, and art is really expensive. Beautiful original art is expensive. Even frames for our family pictures, our portraits, our kids' artwork, all of that is horribly expensive to have done. So I have a solution for you. I'm going to make going to Goodwill, going to garage sales, going to Restore that much more fun. You are never going to be more excited than to see ugly art at inexpensive prices than you will be after today. So let's take a peek really quickly at some artwork that we've got here for you that has been done doing the project that we've got today. So, here is such a fun idea. Now, here is a picture frame that was rescued. Now, I'm going to show you, we don't even care if it has broken glass if we want to do this project. That way we can get that much more of a deal. You might even ask, can I have this one free if I buy this one? I love the haggle part of it. But what you do want to make sure you have is you want to make sure that you've got the backing, and then you want to make sure that it has a good wide mat. Our focus today is on mats and frames, so we don't care about the glass, but I do care about making sure that I've got a mat and a great looking frame. So here you see we didn't even, this is a faux, F-A-U-X, faux meaning fake, a faux burl wood here on the frame. I had a really nice wide mat that we painted with the Rescue Restore paint and did our stencil that I'm going to show you today. And then we just took some burlap and wrapped it around the back so it acts as almost a kind of a decorative board that you can do notes, you can do invitations. Everybody needs an area in their house, their kitchen, their hub, to be able to put schoolwork. Now I know it's summer and we don't have that, but you're going to still have wedding showers, you're still going to have wedding invitations, things that you want to post up there that everybody sees what's going on in the house. So I love this idea of using burlap. Again, it's about texture. And the mat and making this out of a frame that we got for $2 or $3. Here's another great idea. Problems. What do we give Dad for Dad's Day? What Father's Day is coming up? Problem, major problem. It's hard to find them things. I'm going to tell you, I know with my husband, what he loves more than anything are pictures of our kids that we can admire, artwork that our children have done. What an adorable idea. What a happy family. Is this the cutest family? I love the fact that it's in black and white too. And guys, you can just run pictures off on your inkjet printer to be able to put in a frame like this. So I love what we've done here with the mat. This was painted in the Rescue Restore paint. And then of course, all the different fonts. So these are called fonts. And when you mix a lot of different fonts together and they're done in such a way, it becomes a form of art. So I love this art form. I love typography, which is another form of mixing different fonts. I love typography, and then mixing those with the white chalk art and the rose gold, which I'm getting ready to show you, can make it a lot of fun. So I want you to be looking at those old rescued frames, like with more excitement than you ever have before. But also with the inks, a lot of people don't realize when you use our inks and our chalk arts, you can use the inks, especially with this stencil, on towels, t-shirts, all that type of thing. So it's not just for picture frames and mats. So as always, to try to make it easier, you know, we complain about the fact that how many times have you gone to a craft store or a DIY store and you spend $100 and then you get home and you're like, I can't even finish a project. There's nothing that I can do with what I bought to be able to show for what I've spent. So I love putting these bundles together for you. Another solution to a problem, not spending too much money. I've got you very focused on what you can accomplish with this. So we've put this incredible bundle together. It's only $28.99, and can you believe this? It includes shipping. So shipping is free too. So in this, you're going to be getting the Rescue Restore Paint in black. You're going to get a sponge brush to be able to use to apply onto your mat. You're going to get a spreader. You're also going to get a white chalk art, a copper chalk art, and a gold chalk art, because we're going to mix these together and make rose gold. Mind blown. This is so much fun and is so great on a black surface, which we're going to make in just a minute. And you get this incredible stencil that has all these different words and sayings of the typography on here that's going to allow you to be able to create this adorable map. So, if you're tuning in and it's close to 10 o'clock Central Standard Time on Tuesday, you are catching us live, so it's a great opportunity for you to be able to ask questions, and I will answer them live. I have Facebook and Instagram, so welcome, guys. Hope you had a great Memorial Day. So, now, I just want to show you, sadly, this person was probably looking, when I was opening this and looking at it, this was an original piece of art that this person has done, and we got this at Restore. So you'll notice that it's cracked. We don't care. If you're going to be making a pegboard or a display board for you to be able to use in your kitchen, it doesn't matter that the glass is cracked. You're just going to take it out. All we're concerned about is we want to have a mat, and we want to have the frame that we can actually paint. So this is just an example of the ugly art that we're going to be rescuing and restoring. I just love the fact that it's so utilitarian that you can get them for $2 or $3. You can get really large ones that even mirrors. We can take the mirrors out and use those. Maybe you have a she shed, or maybe you have a room that's your creative room and you like having physical Pinterest boards. I still love having images that I print off and have up to just inspire me, so that way you can make a pegboard with that or a cork board. But I want us to be able to make some really creative things for Dad's Day, and even for graduation, things that are going on now, by rescuing and restoring these picture frames. So here's a frame that we took out of an old picture frame that we rescued and restored. And the first thing I'm going to take out of my bundle that I have is our Rescue Restore paint. Now, a lot of people don't realize, but our Rescue Restore paint can also be used as a chalkboard paint. So you do not have to seal it, so it works beautifully. You can wipe it, you can clean it, and these little sample pots are great to be able to do small projects like this. So come on close so you can see what I'm doing, and I'm going to pour just a little bit in a container that I can work with, and then I'm going to use the sponge brush that comes in my kit, and I'm just going to brush this on in long, clean strokes. So you want to load it up. Make sure you try to go down one section and then go to the side of it into the wet edge. Now I'm holding this up a little bit because I don't want to get it on my paper surface that I'm going to be showing you how to do the stencil. So just do it in long, clean strokes like this. It's only going to take about, probably about 10 or 15 minutes to dry. And then that way, if you want to, go on and put on a second coat, and then you're done. So a lot of people, if you're not familiar with the Rescue Restore paint, it's a water-based, chalk-based paint, so you can just clean this with soap and water. You'll notice I always wear an apron because I do want you to make sure that you protect your clothes. If you do get the Rescue Restore paint in your clothes, it will not come out. That's one of the nice things about having the Rescue Restore paint, because you can use it on upholstery, but that's a whole other discussion. Today it's so easy to be able to rescue picture frames and mats. And so I'm going to show you, this is a mat that came out of a larger picture frame that we rescued, and we have painted it with the Rescue Restore paint. So it has this beautiful matte, no pun intended, black matte finish. And it's going to allow me to be able to start to lay out my words. Now, you'll notice here, if you've never done this before, you'll notice that our stencils have lines on them right here. These are basically cut lines. And this is where you're going to take your scissors and you're going to cut them so that way you can use these words individually. Now, I've done that in advance, and I have that here. So that way I've already cut these up. You'll notice too, we've used these quite a bit. So these are reusable. They have an adhesive back to them, and it sticks, and it allows you to be able to use it on mat board. You can use it on glass, you can use it on furniture, you can use it on clothes, like this we did right here. Now, I do want to tell you, if you're going to use this stencil in creating looks like this, you will want to use our ink. So that's a whole other project that I can teach you about, but if you go back on some of our Facebooks, that you'll see that we do a lot of projects with our ink. So the first thing I want to make sure that you do is you kind of start laying this out. There is somewhat of a composition to this. So the great thing about it is you can lay these out and you can reposition them. You can pick it up, you can go back, you can lay it out again. Now look what I'm going to do here. So I've got be still and know, and I love how this, what is it today with, I love how this love, it's like all these puns. Matt, forgive me for that, that was not intentional. But I like how I can lay this right here and go up and down. You want to make sure that whatever words you have, it's not dead center with this, so I want to be careful about that. But right now it's all about composition. So maybe I'm going to take the word gratitude. I usually cut these before I take the backing off. So when you're cutting it, there is another backing that you want to take off after you've cut it. It's going to make it a little bit easier. So see how I'm going to lay that down? Actually, I can put my glasses on so I can see what I'm doing. Are there any questions? Are we good? Okay. Let me see. So I'm going to come down here. I want you to just kind of lay it out. Let's take a glance over at our pieces again. Look at what I'm talking about as far as composition. So as you're laying out your words, you'll want to cut them up, and there again you want to make sure that the thickness of the font is balanced with the thickness of maybe a thinner font. So if you've got a really bold font here, you put it next to one that's a little bit thinner. That's why they're going to play off of one really nicely. See how we ran this more vertically and against something that's more horizontal. See how this thin font here was mixed with the bolder uppercase and then the lowercase, and then mixing it with this Hope. This is one of my favorite fonts. I just think it's fabulous. So that way you'll be working with what we call as an oval eye track. It allows your eye to be able to see the whole thing. The whole frame will become the composition that you'll be looking at, and then when you get closer, that's when you'll actually be starting to see the words. So this becomes your piece of art. And I know we're focusing on the picture, that's supposed to be our art, but the whole thing can become a piece of art as well. You know, a lot of you, I've noticed a lot of our makers, a lot of people that use our products here at a maker studio, they're actually artists. You have Etsy accounts, a lot of you sell at fairs, a lot of you probably teach classes. That's what we are all about. And we love that business opportunity to be able to teach other creatives how to be able to build their own business. This is a great product to resell. So if you like going and buying a picture frame for a couple of dollars and then being able to paint it and create these, people are going to love them. And it's really easy to have mats already painted and ready to be able to go in picture frames and customize them for people. So let's say you're doing a fair. You can have them come around and tell you what words they want on it, and then as easy as I'm getting ready to show you, you can apply it, and then it will dry within 10 minutes. So it's kind of fun to think about the diversity of it. All right, so I'm just going to lay this out, and I want you to see. I'm going to pull this close to me. So composition is going to be really important. You want to work on that. Now, you'll notice, as I told you earlier in this bundle, we've got it to where you can get the copper, the gold, and the white. Because I like doing some of the letters in white, but when you work with rose gold, or even copper, it pretty much goes in any interior. So I'm going to take this spreader that comes with the kit, and I'm going to cut it up to where it's going to be several different sizes. Now, this is what's fun. This is going to blow your mind. So I'm going to take a little bit of the copper. Now, again, this is water-based, and I'm going to take a little bit of the gold. Now, notice how I'll switch, because I don't want to mix the copper from that spreader into my gold. Now, and you can play with it. It doesn't take much, believe it or not. Just this little amount here is going to go really far on my frame. But you can play with it as far as how you want to blend it. If you want it to be more copper or you want it to be more gold. But mixing these two together gives you a beautiful rose gold that when we have used it on stationery, a lot of people don't realize you can use the chalk art on creating custom monogram stationery. You know, just one of these words, just hope. Like if you're writing a note to somebody that's just had some really tough times, or maybe just the word grateful or peace or faith over fear, you can just take one of these words and do that on top of a card that you, a lot of times I go to Paper Source and I'll just get those little fold over cards, and I like getting them in black because this looks so good on it, and that's just your card and then you write inside. So look at that color. Can you see the combination of mixing the gold and the copper together? What a yummy rose gold that is. All right, so now I'm going to take my other spreader. I'm going to load up about this much. Now, holding your stencil down, I have used these quite a bit. Holding your stencil down, you're going to be pressing this through. Now remember, this is mesh. And you want to press it through, so you can't just lay it on top. I've got to put some pressure through it. That's going to push it through that mesh and get that word to the other side. Now, I do want to come back. I don't want to put the rose gold back in there. I want to keep this separate. So if you have a little container and you have extra left, you might want to save that. The cool thing about this is water-based. So if you get it on somewhere else, just take a little wet rag and you can get it off very easily. Do I have a container to be able to show them how to clean this stencil? Are we good on questions? Tell me where you're from, guys. I love knowing where our viewers are from. And tell me what you've got coming up in the way of parties or things that you need gift ideas for. There's nothing better, guys, than giving a gift that you have made yourself, that comes from the heart, that, be honest with you, so many of us, we are so blessed and we have so many things. So when somebody takes the time to make something like this and gives it to us as a gift, it makes it that much more enjoyable. And I know I hold on to it a lot longer than something else that came from just a regular store. All right, so now I've got this piece that is the rose gold. I'm going to take a little bit of my edge. You'll notice a lot of times with my nails, they're short. It's hard for me to just pick up the edge, so I'll just take my spreader and I'll just lift it up on the end like that. So it allows me to be able to just kind of pull that up. So if you have an area that maybe you got on the other side, see, like this right here, I'm just going to take a little bit of water. That's another great thing about our Rescue Restore paint. Some chalk-based paints, if you wipe it with water, what happens? It'll come up. Ours doesn't. You don't have to seal it, so it's very easy to clean. All right? So now I'm going to come back with the white. I want you to mix them. Don't do everything rose gold. You could do some rose gold. You could come back and you could do some in copper and then some in gold and then in white. So I'm going to take my spreader. You can see with what you get in this bundle how far it goes. There again, I want you to press through. Don't just sit it on top. Give me some pressure, because that way a lot of times people will say, well, it didn't go through all the way. You weren't pressing hard enough. And if you need to, hold it with your left hand. I'm right-handed, vice versa if you're left-handed. And see how I'll kind of work my way around. I may not be able to go one direction, so I may have to come back this way to make it fit. Some people do put a little tape on the edge if they don't want to get it on the board, but to be quite honest with you, I don't have a problem with just taking a piece of wet rag and wiping it off. So lift up that edge. So I got just a little bit there again. I'm going to take my rag again. I'll dip it in some water and just wipe that off. Is this awesome? Let's take a glance really quick at, if somebody's just now tuning in, let me show you what it is that I'm working on. Again, these are just rescued and restored frames that we've got at Habitat or Goodwill. Very easily get them for a couple of dollars. The main thing you want to remember is you're looking for your mat. We love painting the mat to be able to go with a picture. Here we actually took the glass out, so if it's broken, don't worry about it. It's a great opportunity if you want to be able to make things and turn around and resell them. These are incredibly sellable, but they make great gifts. The problem that we like to be solving is that picture frames, having things framed and decorating our homes cost a lot of money. This is a very elegant, upscale look that literally cost a few pennies to be able to do one of these. So look for composition. Use this, make sure you mix them. Use them on a vertical and a horizontal surface. That way you've got a great look. And I am telling you, your friends are going to be impressed. So last but not least, let me just show you really quickly how to be able to wash your stencils. So when you take your stencils out of your bag like this, keep the bag, that way you can store them in there. And remember with the chalk art, it's water-based. So you're just going to take a little container of water like this, and it's not going to bother it, don't worry. You're like, but isn't the adhesive side going to be messed up? No, it's not. So just lay it down in here. Can you see? Look at that. So see how I'm just using a sponge to clean it off. And that way that's all going to dissolve. And now my stencil's clean. I can use it for another project. I can use it with ink to be able to make a t-shirt or whatever. And then I'm going to lay it down like this. I want to make sure that the adhesive side is being laid up. That way it can air dry. And that way I'm going to try to stay away from paper towels, things that have lint in it that would get down in that bag. That way I can put it on here and I can use it, put it back in the bag, and I can use it on another project. So hopefully this helps solve the problem of finding a great Father's Day gift. Dad is going to love this. Dad's going to love the fact that you didn't spend a lot of money. So you can buy the bundle. You can make something for his dad, your husband, the husbands of your friends. You can turn around and sell them to your friends. So it just goes on. And I promise it's going to be something that will look incredibly elegant in your home because we want you to enjoy the bragging rights. Have a fantastic short week, everybody.